Can Amazon count? I sometimes wonder because they give me so many shipping notice performance notifications and they're telling me the count is off. And I'm like, I frickin' counted this myself. I know you're miscounting this, Amazon. What is going on? Well, they do have a new shipment performance location inside of Seller Central. And if you haven't checked this out, I do recommend it. It is quite the facelift from what we've seen like a year plus ago. A lot of new things going on in there that I recommend looking at. Um, you can see groupings by shipping performance issues. They give you your last 120 days chart where you can see like, hey, here's where you were having lots of problems back in April. You did pretty good in May and June, and then you're sneaking it up again in July, kind of. And so this can be beneficial because in the warehouse game, it's a huge blame each other sort of situation where your warehouse is always going to blame Amazon, and Amazon's going to be like, it's always your warehouse. And for some of you where you're like, I am the warehouse and I know it's Amazon, you're probably right. Uh, and it just makes me wonder if Amazon knows how to count boxes or scan things in. There are some tips and recommendations I can give in for example, if you've got a cylinder like item, especially if you're selling supplements, you want to have that barcode vertically whenever possible. So if you have a horizontal barcode like this on a cylinder sort of item, it doesn't scan as well. And sometimes I wonder if Amazon is just not scanning the unscannable. And that kind of problem can show up as well on a performance notification where there's a label that's malfunctioning or a problem like that. But the product quantities one is the one that's probably the most concerning. And the reason that's the case is because they are losing your items. Now, I do have a dedicated service to help with this. It's called My Refund Guy. And I have about 350 paying customers right now. First 500 bucks are on me. Check it out at myrefundguy.com right now. There's a dashboard. We file tickets. It's a commission-based service where we go out there and try and track down those lost shipments and ticket it until you get every dime back. So feel free to check that out. But in any case, inside of the problem rate section, it's going to tell you what your rate is, and it's going to tell you what the acceptable rate is. And if you have a problem like this, they may elevate your coaching level where they want to talk to you or give you a call, and they'll give you specific corrective actions to take. And if you don't take them, then they may suspend temporarily at first your ability to ship into FBA. Now, if you were seeing 3%, 4%, where it was like 10x what their acceptable rates are, at that point, they probably will suspend your FBA shipments. And then you're going to be stuck doing merchant fulfilled only. And that's kind of a kiss of death in many specific categories. You lose that Prime badge. A lot of challenges come from that. Safety box issues. So if you have an item that weighs over 50 pounds, you put more than 2 units in a box that weighs over 50 pounds, they're going to mark you for a safety issue. And that they take very seriously. I think there's some union rights issues. Also, your items won't check in as fast. So make sure you don't go over that 50 pounds with a case pack. You want to get that case pack down below 50 pounds. Incorrect label. This can happen when you have 2 SKUs and they're labeled, A's on B and B's on A, for example. This is often a challenge as well when Amazon mislabels them. So you pay Amazon to add the F and SKU labels. Lo and behold, they slap them on incorrectly, and then consumers start complaining about this. This will also show up in your NCX report. So if we go over to inside of Seller Central, and I think this is under performance. Nope. Oh, there we go. Performance, account health. And then I'm looking for voice of the customer. And in here, we had an issue recently with people getting the wrong tumbler. And I don't see it on the list because we already resolved the problem. But sometimes if you have something that shows up as very poor, let me click on the very poor and see what comes up with this. Yeah, here it is. So we had people ordering Luigi cups and they were getting Mario cups. And that's obviously a huge problem. Nobody wants to have the wrong Mario brother, right? And so we pulled all of our inventory back and we reshipped some stuff in, and it was incorrectly labeled. Now, we had paid Amazon to do the labeling. In this case, it was their error. And then I'm going to have to fight them with tickets to try and get the right item reimbursed for all that bogus stuff I had to go through. But that's what happens when you get incorrect labeling issues. So if you label it incorrectly before it gets to Amazon, this is going to be probably more particular inside of supplements, consumables, grocery, as well as topicals in the beauty category. And that's because you have to have an FNSKU on every single one of them. Um, the label missing entirely. So normally you're supposed to have a UPC code, but maybe you have like a soap like mine. It's an artisan soap. There's no barcode on the mini box. And that can be a challenge. And the outer box is where maybe the label might be, but Amazon starts opening it up and then they don't know how to scan it because they opened up the case pack because they didn't realize it was a case pack. I've had that issue happen to me before. I've also had issues where we send in just our, I'm selling like a case of Monster wine glasses. So let's go over. I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. And I paid Amazon to, let's go to a specific wine glass like my Mama Shark here. So I send in a case of 48 Mama Sharks. I forget to hit the labeling button when I make the shipment. There's no UPCs on this, and so they ding me for that. And that's a challenge in itself. By the way, if you didn't know, they're changing how reviews are displaying on Amazon. So if you type in funny wine glass right now, you're going to see a bunch of products that say 95% 4 stars, no longer showing that 2,000 reviews I've earned right here. They're going to show, oh, it's 96% above 4 stars for you. Okay, so that was the NCX. That was the label missing problem. And then inaccurate product quantity. This is when you send in too many, too few challenges in the shipment at large. Now, what's confusing to me is how I could have a worse rate with quantities in a box, but my shipment quantity overall is significantly better. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it could be that when they get on the pallet, there's double stacking in a particular case or box, and there's less in another one. Totally could happen. Or there's like 50 different cases in the shipment, and they're all there, but Amazon, when they checks them in, just doesn't check them in correctly. And then they're like, oh, you put 23 in this box and 100 in the other. And you're like, that's not even possible. There's only 48 that could fit in a box. I've seen it all. I've seen it all before. It's a huge problem. When you scroll down, it'll show you the specific shipments that have challenges, and you have to acknowledge it or fight it and appeal, right? So like I filed a dispute here. They rejected it. And that means I have to go file tickets to get the reimbursement. When I click on the view details button, nothing shows up. So sometimes the UI can be a little choppy. But if you click on the inaccurate items, it's just going to pull you back up to the top here. So all that's normal, no challenges there. Sometimes you might have to grab the shipment ID like from right here and then go into Amazon FBA shipment. Now, what's really silly about the UI is that all of our header and all of our sidebars are now gone. So if I want to get back over to Seller Central, I got to have a different tab to do that, which is a little annoying. If we go into shipments over here and we really wanted to track one down, I can go look it up by shipment ID like this. However, whatever I copy and paste, it didn't work. Let's try that one more time. And there we go. And then if we go into units expected, 405, units located, 404. And they're showing the one quantity off right there. And it kind of makes sense that there would be an even number. It'd be pretty random to ship an odd number in on a shipment. So it's possible my warehouse missed 1 units on that. If we go to something though, where it's like 25 units, I'm a little bit more like suspicious of that one. So units located 0, units expected 25. So for them to, like, if we track the shipment on this, and let's say the shipment shows up, it's probably going to, shipment delivered. So you can see all that. It was received on July 11th. They didn't tell us there was a problem until July 30th. And now they're saying all 25 units are not there, right? And so when stuff like that happens, Amazon lost this stuff, right? That's the case. And so we're going to have a challenge with that. We're going to try and fight it, have a problem with it. So that's the riff of it. When you make shipments, I do recommend trying to put your SKU numbers in there. It will help you track it a little bit better, especially if you have a lost shipment and you're trying to track it down. You're like, okay, do I even have inventory for this? I'm going to go back over to the inventory page. I'm going to type in the SKU. And since I don't have an exact match here, I think I was missing an S in the front there. There we go. And so in here, you can see, okay, I do have 39 there and available and 50 on the way. And so I'll probably be okay. But, losing that 25 does really hurt because those are 25. That's like half of what I wanted at Amazon at any given point. And I don't know how much I sell of this Mario Cup. Let's take a look, like 30 a month. All right, so I've got less than a 40-week supply. They're holding up 25 of mine on this shipment. I don't like that. I wish it wasn't a challenge. So that's my review of the new shipping queue. You're going to want to look at it, take a peek at how the shipping problem dashboard top problem groups looks. It is directionally helpful. It does help your team focus or your executives audit. Something I would check maybe once every month, maybe once every 2 months, depending on how many shipments you're putting out, just to keep your warehouse honest. Always trust, but verify. Same with Amazon. And don't forget myrefundguy.com if you want us to go after Amazon to track down those missing units that they owe you money for, because you know Amazon doesn't know how to count. They lost those shipments. Check out this playlist next for more information about logistics at Amazon.